Hello, the purpose of this tutorial is to just explain the general studies requirements required for your major, which is electrical engineering at Arizona State University. This same information is also contained within my larger DARS tutorial video, but if you already know how to use DARS, then this just focuses in on the general studies components. So if you look at your DARS, your general studies area looks like this. You are required to take 15 total credits, which is 5 classes. One of them is going to be upper division. The upper division one can be either humanities or social behavioral. Either topic will work. And then the other 4, you're going to have 2 humanities and 2 social behavioral classes. Because economics is a required class for your major, it makes sense to use economics as one of your 2 social behavioral classes because economics can also apply as a social behavioral. So you'll notice that the student in this example did not use economics as a social behavioral, so they must have taken it in addition to their general studies classes. If you're just starting out, I highly encourage that you pick one social behavioral class and then the other one you take economics and use that as your second social behavioral class. Aside from that, a couple other things to notice here. Like I said, you only need 1 upper division class. This student, for whatever reason, took 3 upper division classes. And when you do several upper division classes, you'll notice that they also populate under numbers 2 or 3, depending on if they're a humanities or a social behavioral. This sort of looks like they're getting credit for the class twice, but that's not actually the case. You can only get credit for a class in one place. So in this situation, you see the 3 different upper division classes, SBS 367, MUS 362, and POS 325. Any of those 3 classes could be used for their 1 upper division class, but they also could alternatively be used in numbers 2 and 3. So what's really happening here is MUS 362 is being used as a lower division humanities class, which is perfectly fine, but it is showing up under number 1 because it could belong there. And then either one of the 2 SBS classes or SB classes that that's applying as an upper division class is actually also applying as a lower division class. So like I said, they're not being used as both, but basically one is satisfying number 1 and the other one is actually applying to number 3. I know that's a little bit confusing. If you're starting out fresh, you're probably not going to have to worry about this. Just as long as you take 5 total classes, you're going to be fine. But the way you can tell how far along you are towards the credits you need is at the top where it says earned 12 and 3 in progress. That's telling you that this student has only earned 12 total credits, which would be 4 classes. And then they have 1 in progress, which is the one that you can see there that doesn't have a grade yet, CON 101. Okay, the other thing that you need to worry about with general studies is your awareness areas. So if we pop over to the awareness area on your DARS, it looks like this. Hold on real quick. Here we go. So awareness areas. Now this area right here says cultural, global, and historical. Those are your 3 different awareness areas, and what you can do is you can pick a class strategically that covers one of your general studies areas and one of your awareness areas. Now, if you're a transfer student, you might have 1 or more of these awareness areas already completed, which is why you want to utilize your DARS to determine that. But if you need all 3 of them, then you are going to go through, and as you're selecting your social behavioral and your humanities classes, you're going to make sure that you cover each of these 3 areas along the way. If you're towards the tail end and you only need 1 or 2 of them and you don't have very many humanities and social behavioral classes left to take, then it's even more critical that you make sure to strategically select your classes so that you can meet all of your awareness areas while using your 5 mandatory general studies classes. If, however, you've already completed all of your general studies requirements but have not covered all 3 awareness areas, in that event you would need to take additional classes to satisfy these. So if that's your situation, I will show you how to find awareness areas classes, and I will also show you how to find classes that are both humanities or social behavioral and an awareness area. So right now we are going to go ahead and switch over to the class search. So let's pull up the class search real quick. Okay, So first things first, this is Econ 212, which is microeconomics. Like I mentioned, economics is a required class for your major, and it also counts as a social behavioral class. You can see right here where it says social behavioral. So if you have not taken economics yet and you still need a social behavioral class, I absolutely would save space for econ. However, in addition to econ, generally speaking, to find social behavioral or general studies classes in general, you're going to click over here where it says advanced search, and that opens up all of these different fields. Now, if we go under general studies, we can select HU for humanities. And now it's going to show me every single humanities class that's available in this fall 18 semester, either in A session or in B session. If you just need any old humanities, this will do the job. However, you might be looking for one that also picks up an awareness area. Like I said before, if you are brand new and need to find all of your general studies classes, you might not need to filter by awareness area. You can just scroll through them and pay attention to this column at the right, which lists any additional requirements that it covers. So for this one, for example, it covers humanities, but it also covers both historical and global awareness. So if you picked this one, it would pick up 2 out of the 3 awareness areas, which would be really great. You'd be almost done at that point. Also, some of them will just cover 1. So this one right here covers historical, so does this one. This one right here covers historical and global, and eventually you'd probably find one that covers cultural. Here's one right here that has cultural. Now, if you're specifically looking for humanities with one of these, then you can just pick it right here. And then now your list will update and only show ones that happen to cover that awareness area. I picked global. Now, if you're looking for that number 1 spot, the upper division one, then you can switch this level over here to upper division. And now it's only showing me 300 and 400 level options. And all of the ones on my particular list cover humanities and global because that's what I have my filters set to. If I want to change it, I can always go up here and toggle. Okay. Now, if you're not sure what this class is about and you don't really know if you want to take it, you can click down here and look at the prereqs. Sometimes with upper division classes, you might have a class that has a prereq you might not have. This one just needs a certain GPA and a minimum amount of hours completed. But if it was an English class, it might have other prereqs, in which case you probably don't want to take it. This one just needs English 102, which is already required for you, so that would be fine. But if it had a prereq for a different class that you don't need, then you might just want to skip over that one. Also, there's a link right here for the syllabus. If you're interested in what the class involves, you can click on syllabus. It will launch that, and then you can get more details on what you might be required to do and or learn about in the class. And then finally, after you register for a class, so once you pick one out, add it to your cart, and get it all the way registered for your schedule, at that point, make sure that you then rerun your DARS report. So here's the add button. Let's say I decided to take this first one here. I click add, I get it all the way registered onto my schedule. Then make sure to rerun your DARS and verify that it is applying to all of the areas you are expecting. So if I register for this one, it's a humanities and historical. When I run my DARS and refresh it, I should now see this exact class showing not only under humanities, but also under historical awareness. If it's an upper division class, remember it's going to show up under number 1 for upper division, and then it will also show up below under just normal humanities. But remember, you're only getting credit for it under one or the other, whichever one you prefer. All right, that's it for general studies and class searching. Please let your advisor know if you have any other questions. Thanks.